unlike many other organizations, we've actually been there afterwards. So after an incident has taken place, we've carried out around about 220, maybe a little bit more now, 220 ransomware recoveries. So not trying to protect you at the beginning, although we do that, but actually looking at getting you back up and running after the event has taken place. Our experience and what we've learned is that organizations, and this may well be similar to you, kind of have a patchwork quilt of technology and solutions. So what happens is that you end up with this kind of patchwork quilt of equipment, solutions, software levels, technologies, and not all of them have been deployed at the same time, and so you might have some software on certain levels, you might have some software on other levels, you might have some technology from a certain vendor over here, you might have technology from a certain vendor over there, you might have some tools that are managed by yourselves, you might have some tools that are managed by a managed services provider. All that does is it adds up to this patchwork quilt that you have and what you call an environment. Now, an attacker doesn't have to get into everywhere. All an attacker needs to do is get into one place. And by finding one gap within your environment, finding one area of weakness, they can then leverage their attack and they can cause you untold damage. And so we're looking at these particular areas within your environment. And we see this every time we do a recovery. Those 200 recoveries, every single recovery organization that we've brought back, every single one of them had technology products in place. Every single one of them had a firewall. Every single one of them had antivirus. Every single one of them had backups. Every single one of them had IT staff in place trying to defend against an attack that was coming through. 100%. 100% of those had gaps within their infrastructure, within their security policy, which had an open invitation for someone to be able to come in to be able to cause them damage. 100%. Ransomware still succeeded despite the solutions that were in place. And so what actually causes a ransomware attack to take place? Well, surprisingly, it is not AI. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but it is not AI. And very unlikely for yourselves, it's not going to be a nation state. Probably not. And it's unlikely going to be an actual 0 day. There are not that many 0 days, and you're probably not going to be one of them that's going to receive that actual 0 day. What causes a ransomware attack is kind of one of three things: configuration, mistakes, errors caused by somebody opening a firewall port with the intention of closing it down, somebody making a change and not realizing there are dependencies elsewhere. So you've got configuration issues, errors, mistakes. You've got visibility. You might not know what your attack surface actually is. Attack surface would be where somebody can gain access to your systems, and somebody might have put a server or some sort of solution into AWS or into Azure or set up somewhere else, and all of a sudden your attack surface is just increased. You may not know that. And if you don't know what your attack surface is, it's very difficult to be able to defend against an attack onto your attack surface. It may be that you know what you've got, but you just don't know whether you're vulnerable with what you have in place. And it may also be that you don't have the right visibility on what's happening as far as alerts go. So if something changes today, are you aware, are you monitoring what changes there are, and to be mindful then to be able to make the changes back, to be able to look at business as usual. And then the final area of the reasons why ransomware occurs is around validation. So sometimes we put a new shiny solution in place, and that gives us a sense of security, which means that we don't worry too much. We don't check it. We don't validate that what we have is actually secure. There's very little checking and testing going on of that. And what that altogether leads to, configuration mistakes, architectural gaps, no validation, that actually is what leads to a successful compromise. It is those things. It's not the AI, it's not nation state, it's literally those things. It's having these things not correct which leads to an actual compromise.